welcome back, y'all. Master Teacher for Traction, back with another video. So, what we're gonna be talking about in this video is we're gonna be talking with Oshay Jackson, okay? And on this particular video, it's gonna in mediocre tutorial and reviews is gonna have a story about dealing with women from Tinder and these dating apps and what they did to his property. Okay, so go ahead and stick to the end for that. But we basically gonna build on this topic about if you should use dating apps and everything. Okay, he's gonna say his viewpoints. Mediocre tutorials and reviews is gonna give his story, and then I'm gonna give my 2 cents. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it.
Everybody, it's your boy Oshay Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. And in this episode, it's not.
This is some nice graphics right here, man. I thought I was doing something, but Oshay, I don't know. I think because he know a lot of people. He be getting the hookup.
News or what's going on in celebrity news or gossip or anything like that. More or less, though, brothers in the quarantine series and the way that we date now. And the reason why I'm talking about that is because what we're experiencing right now most likely will shape the world and change things forever. And even before that, I know with all the social distancing things that we have now, but we're just going towards more of an internet-based way of lifestyle.
With the whole social distancing thing, you got to remember that that's gonna play more into women, because they gonna try. Y'all gotta understand that women like to use everything as excuses or some type of reason if they not feeling you or they just don't got high interest in you. All right. Now we don't know, how it's gonna shape, but the way they got everything right now, and it's other things that we've gotten past, but when it comes to this stuff, basically when it comes to the social distance and everything, y'all just gotta remember that women is gonna try to use that on you. All right, just like, oh, I'm just looking for friends, they gonna say, well, I'm trying to social distance. All right, so just take that. If she say that to you, she probably not into you. All right.
Now you can transfer money by Cash App. That's been going on for a few years. PayPal has been going on for a few years. Now you can work in the gig economy, like guys like me who create content, guys like Dima or Satati who are video editors, Kim the comic, guys like that. And even now, the way we date is not the same. Like most guys won't ever tell you that, I met this chick, I approached her at the bar, and
right.
we hit it off.
Or
most
Walmart.
people are meeting on Tinder, and fish. And while those are...
And let me say something about these dating apps and everything. There's women on there, but think about it. Like, if we got women out here that already get enough attention from dudes, why would they go on a dating app for more of that? Okay, and actually take it seriously. All right, the women that you see that's fine on these apps, they doing that because a friend told them to do it, and they just not taking it seriously is what I'm trying to say. Okay, and that's why a lot of dudes be having issues trying to get these girls off of these apps, because, and then the ones that you get off of there, some of them be crazy, man, but they gonna get into that. But should you try to use it? We'll see.
Ways to date.
See
A
what
lot
you
of
got
times,
to say.
especially for us brothers out there that are casually dating and not looking for anything serious, we're not looking at the downsides or the negatives of the Tinder dating.
Okay, what are the downsides? Okay, so a lot of y'all may not have a business or anything, or assets attached to your business. All right, like you may be the face of your business and everything, or you have things attached to it. All right, so you may not view interacting with women the same way, like Oshay Duke Jackson and the people in this video, or me. Okay, because we got things that we got to protect. Okay, we got our legacy that we got to protect. We got to protect our legal status. Okay, and our reputation. All right, because that's how we make our money and our bread. So we can't be trying to, go all up or just get with any type of woman. All right, because I have my story too. I'm gonna say it after mediocre tutorials and reviews say his. But I've encountered women that'll take your stuff as well. All right, I've had women that came into my apartment and literally took money. All right, and I would leave the money on. Well, we get into it. But we just talking about if you important out here in this world, okay, you gotta watch who you dealing with, all right, and you determine whether how much your worth is by what you do, all right.
Negatives of the Plenty of Fish dating. We're just not.
Plenty of whales.
Not looking for those negatives. And I want to talk about this because shout out to the Hall of Game. I had mediocre tutorials and reviews. He was talking about a very bad experience that he had on there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cut that clip out.
His piece.
And we're going to play this whole segment of that podcast. And this is why I'm thinking that's probably why black men shouldn't use Tinder anymore. All right. I want you to hear about this bad experience.
And it's not just black men. This is men in general. All right. They don't care. All right. These type of women do not care. They ain't got nothing to lose. All right, but he gonna say his piece.
And this bad experience is enough for me never to want to use Tinder, at least in the United States. I'm gonna play this. Get your popcorn ready. Get your seasoning salt. Get your butter.
Get your Lowry's.
Listen to this. Learn from this experience, and I'm gonna come back and give some commentary of my own afterwards.
So high level story, and this has actually happened a couple of different types of times, but high level story, met a young lady on the Tinders, okay. Went out with her, coffee date as per usual, okay. Let's say linked up with her like later on that night, whatever happened. About a week to 2 weeks into it, I started to say to myself, yeah, there's something a little bit odd about her personality, but I was thinking with the incorrect head, okay?
Right.
Hopefully you don't get demonetized off of that, bro. And,
that's all
right. but that started to happen, and I let her back into my space. I let her back into my energy and my aura, and I allowed her to come over. And she came over. She stepped into the crib, and this is how I knew something funny was gonna happen. Just as I was saying before, she walks in, and it's like this kind of thing that's kind of happening. Opening doors.
And see, that's a red flag. That's a red flag. And that's why I told y'all in one of the previous latest videos, don't be blind. Don't be letting girls blindfold you or do anything like that to restrain you, because they ain't gonna do some weird stuff. All right. Now, we not lying about this type of stuff. This stuff happened for real. All right. Especially when you're dealing with the wrong type of woman. All right. This is real stuff. Looking around.
Opening up the watch case, I was turning around, I was looking at something. I turned back around, and she was looking at my watch case and opening it and closing it, what have you. So I had key indicators, but I was a little bit younger, so I chose to ignore those different things. Anyway, long story short, she had a personality type that was you try to have a conversation, and she gets to that and aggressive, all of that stuff. I don't want to go into details. Anyway, on the way of me kicking her out of my crib, okay, here's what I did, because we all know that as men, you should not be putting your hands on women, or even the assertion of putting your hands on women, like a flex or anything like that. I don't do none of that.
Okay, let me say something on that, right? If you get the inkling that you need to hit a woman, in order to defend yourself. You need to take yourself out of that situation and just stop dealing with that woman. As soon as you get that feeling, okay, I made a video about trust your gut feelings or follow your gut feeling. Okay, it's on this channel somewhere. But if you get the gut feeling that this something off with this woman, all right, she looking around, she checking your spot out and everything like she finna steal something, you need to go ahead and just end that joint right there. All right, don't. And if she try to hit you with the, why you trying to, like, cause you know she gonna ask you, don't answer that. Just tell her get out. You ain't gotta explain anything. Just get out. All right, and if you over her place, just leave. Like, this ain't right. Something weird. This some weird stuff right here, man. Just get out. All right, cause you might just save yourself out of a bad situation. All right.
So in order to get her out of my crib, what I did was I turned off the lights and I closed my bedroom door so she would understand that I'm serious and to leave my crib after an argument had happened, right? So I did that. I go in my bedroom, and about 15 seconds into it, I said, you know what? I shouldn't leave her out there in the living room without supervision. And as soon as I opened the door, she closes the back door. There was two doors. She ends up closing the back door. I run up behind the back door. I lock the door, and I slept pleasantly that night. It was a fantastic sleep because I was happy that, you know what I'm saying?
Y'all came through the front door while she go out the back door. See, that's that weird stuff. All right? That is that weird stuff. That's why you can't be, y'all got to stop leaving. And see, this a ratchet woman. All right? I can just tell all this a ratchet woman. Okay? This is low quality women. This is what everybody keep telling y'all. Stop messing with these type of women. Okay? Do not mess with these type of women. They get the inkling that they low quality. And if you care about your resources and your reputation and your business, all right, you need to just go ahead and let that go. All right? Because it just ain't worth it.
Situation was over. All right? I wake up in the morning. I cannot find my keys in my wallet.
Damn.
Gone. Oh, gone. Dang. I cannot find my keys in a wallet. And at the time, I'm just like, no, there's no way that she took that. Because although I knew that there was something like wrong, there was something amiss, I wouldn't have thought that crazy, right? So about 2.5 hours later, I click off the I contact my manager. I'm like telling him, I didn't tell him my keys in my wallet was missing because that looked kind of weird. I think I just told him that I couldn't find my keys. 2.5 hours later, I have ripped my entire apartment up trying to find everything. And I'm texting her throughout the entire time. I'm like, yo, what did you do? Did you do anything? And she's like, nah, like, I'll try to look for your keys. Maybe they slipped down into my bag. Like, at the time, she's making up all this stuff. Anyway, so then my neighbor goes behind the building and he walks out the back door and he sees me out there like looking for something and he's like, yo, you okay? And I tell him that I can't find my wallet and my keys. So then he goes in behind the building where his car was and he stumbles across my wallet. He's like, yo, your wallet's here. And I'm like, oh, okay, my wallet's back there. She has something to do with my wallet being behind the building. Anyway, long story short, I'm trying to condense this as much as possible. Trust me, it's a long story. Long story short, I then call her back and I'm like, listen, if you don't tell me where my keys are, I'm going to call the cops. Okay. So she hangs up the phone. Okay. The tune changed. A couple of texts later, I'm like, listen, this all goes away if you just let me know where everything else is at. You messing with me, And I'm a person, I got things to lose. You could tell that she had far less in life to lose. So, but I was trying to make sure that she knew that, listen, this conversation can be done, right? So anyway, she then tells me that before she left, because she was mad, or however she chooses to deal with her anger, before she grabbed my things, and then on the way onto the turnpike, she threw them out, like by the parkway, my keys. And I'm like, are you serious? So I try to go out there and I try to look for it. I end up finding them, but I call the cops anyway. Now here's the beauty in this, is that because if I didn't do that, I am not sure where that could have left me from a traceability or visibility perspective. Because I called, irrespective of which, to protect myself, and it's a protection.
And real quick, Some of you guys be thinking about, the little small things like, what do I have to say to her to get her to drop them, them pants, right? With people like Mediocre Tutorial and Reviews, Oshay Duke Jackson, and all of us, we ain't got, that's the least of our worries. We trying to make sure she don't do nothing like this, and we trying to vet the women. That's what we focused on. Okay, so it's a whole totally different mindset. All right. If you new into it, you may go through that thinking, okay, what I gotta, you going through that overthinking when you with her. But after you get out of that phase, man, start focusing on vetting the women and testing her character, paying attention to her body language. Just like I told y'all before, it's not just to get her feeling you. It's to protect your own damn self. Okay, you got to pay attention and listen to what women say. All right, you got to protect yourself out here.
It's a protection thing. Now, longer story short, one more part to the story, and I'll let you guys chime in on it, or if you guys have any stories to share. So I go back to the crib, and here's where I made a mistake. Okay, because I was a little bit petty at the time. Cop came in, I'm doing a police report, and he's telling me like, yo, because she stole the wallet, she took the wallet, it was a credit card, technically it's a felony, okay? Technically it can be a felony because the credit limit's over 1,000, so you could continue with, I said, listen, I don't want to file anything, I just want like a report for traceability, so I can reference for data, as we talked about before, okay? Now here's why I messed up. I sent her a picture of the cop, and I know it was petty. I shouldn't have done that. You should never know what your right hand know what your left hand is doing. You see what I'm saying? But mistakes, we all make them, experiences, we go through them, right? I sent her the picture. I get a call 10 minutes later. Big mistake, yeah, I see that down there. I get a call 10 to 15 minutes later. It was from an archetype of person. I like to describe them on my channel as Hood Booger. Okay. It wasn't the voice of the woman who I was originally talking to, right? It was some her. Give me a call on my phone and said, "Oh, is this da 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 da?" Said my name, said my first name, my last name. I said, "Yes, who is this?" She said, "I heard that you like to hit women." Okay.
Oh!
Yeah. She said, "I heard that you like to hit women." All right. And and she named my place of business.
Damn.
How would place of business feel about knowing that you beat women, that you choke women? And I'm like, wow. Excuse me? Excuse me? So, and I'm trying to cut that.
Y'all see it, I mean, right?
Situation. And at that point, I was terrified. Now, here was the shining light. She ended up, and the friend, and the lies that they concocted, calling the cops. Here was the shining light. It was the same cop that I talked to 20, 30 minutes before. Okay? And here's another shining light too. She's not smart, and her Hood Booger girlfriend are just not smart people. So the cop, in hearing my situation, the fact that I called first, and all the data that that he had on the situation as I reported it, versus what she was saying, he didn't believe her, so he never even came back out or anything like that. But it just, I wanted to share that story as it goes to show you now, no matter. Now at the same time, I wish that I had my phone enabled to voice record, so I can, have it here today to share with you guys. But I didn't have that, so now I have that enabled on my phone, and
That's a smart
called
move.
the cops in order to get another point of reference of my side of the story, and then look what happened on later. So I wanted to share that story.
All right, guys, you heard what he had to say, and definitely.
That's crazy because a lot of dudes be so focused on a woman that they not protecting themselves. All right, and then that was just a Tinder date. You understand? And then it turned into filing police reports for your keys and your wallet stolen. Okay, so all your bread and your credit that you used to pay for your business, and then got his business threatened with something he didn't even do. All right, so this is important. This is a really important video. Okay, because you're gonna deal with women. All right, but you gotta know, you got to vet women, man. You got to qualify them. All right, if you know they hood and bougie, don't be dealing with them type of women. Unless you want to lose your stuff, lose your reputation, lose your bread, lose your business. Especially for some stuff. Y'all see the dudes getting accused of this stuff and it's actually going through. Now that was smart. What he did with the voice recorder and everything. But that's crazy.
Wow. You hear the situation that he let this girl come over. She didn't want to leave. She took his wallet, threw his stuff out, hitting him on false charges. And this actually was on one of the Hall of Game shows that we have. And if I'm not mistaken, I want to make sure that I get it right and correct. But this particular Hall of Game, it was pretty much called like, should black men record all interactions with women? That's a show right there, right? Should black men record all their interactions with women?
And my opinion on that, if you got your own place and you routinely bring women to your place, go ahead and just get a tape recorder. All right, they sell them on Amazon. They not that expensive, and they can save a lot of your stuff. All right, especially women, doing stuff like running games and taking people's stuff like that. Okay. Now, basically, what Oshay Duke Jackson was saying in this last part, he think that it's better to focus on attracting the women from out in the real world. All right. But I wanted to say about that it don't matter where they come from. If she hood, she hood. It don't matter if she hood off of Tinder or hood in the real world. That's a hood girl, okay? So it don't really matter about using the apps or where you get the women from. They still have to go through your processes of you qualifying them, okay? Just because, don't let one apple ruin the whole bunch when it comes to these dating apps, all right? But, he did make a point that, it's a lot of women that, look good and everything that's not on these Tinder and, dating apps and everything. All right. And I teach a way how to get to them without the dating apps, in which most women have social media. So I teach you how to get to them in that fashion in the course and everything, but down below. You know what? As far as the story, because I'm going to have a video with FitX Fearless, I'm gonna say the story about me and what happened with me in my place in that video. So we gonna go ahead and end it right here. Go to either the playlist or the video over here, and if it says FitX Fearless, he got robbed or something, and we talking about that in that video, I'm gonna have the story there. So I'm gonna see you in that next video.